Chautauqua 2006 is brought to you by the Maryland Humanities Council in partnership with Montgomery College, with generous support from Lockheed Martin, Constellation Energy, and the NiSource Charitable Foundation. Chautauqua 2006 is a We the People project of the National Endowment for the Humanities and also has support from the Maryland Division of Historical and Cultural Programs. Additional sponsors are Baltimore's Tremont Suite Hotels and Wisp Resort.
Hello and welcome to the Germantown campus of Montgomery College. I'm Angela Rice Beamer and we're here for a program called Chautauqua. Chautauqua's a community event for the entire family that began way back in 1874 at Lake Chautauqua, New York. It began as a training course for Methodist Sunday school teachers. Its scope was later expanded beyond Sunday school to include lectures, debates, and performers who traveled to small towns across the nation. Chautauqua offered self-improvement and inspirational guidance, but it began to die out during the Roaring '20s as people looked for other forms of entertainment like movies and radio. By the 1930s, it was gone. But by 1976, Chautauqua was reborn as a humanities program with scholars portraying historical figures in full costume and character. It was revived in Maryland in 1995 and has been entertaining communities throughout the state ever since. Previous Chautauqua characters have included Ben Franklin, Herman Melville, H.L. Mencken, Susan B. Anthony, Harriet Tubman, Theodore Roosevelt, Frederick Douglass, and many more. Each year, a new theme comes to Chautauqua, and each night, a new character takes the stage. This year's theme is creativity and imagination. It will explore the creative genius of Henry Ford, Leonardo da Vinci, Coco Chanel, and tonight, actor, singer, athlete, and political activist, the people's artist, Paul Robeson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Good evening.
Good evening.
As you know, my name is Paul Robeson. The year is 1958. I am 60 years old at this time. And just a few days ago, I received my passport. It was a long time coming. For those who may not know, my passport, my right to travel, in 1950 was taken away from me. And it's been a long struggle for 8 years. But the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, finally decided that you could not take away a person's passport or right to travel because of their political beliefs. And so I stand here before you today with my passport. The battle has been won, not just for myself, but for all Americans who are concerned about their constitutional rights. Now, the question may be, what were my political beliefs? Well, in 1946, I would call before the Tenney Committee. Now, the Tenney Committee is a joint House and Senate committee that was started in California to supposedly root out communism. I would call before the committee, and I was asked the question whether or not I was a communist, which I answered for the record under oath that I was not, although it is a known fact that since the 1930s, I became very much involved in the anti-fascist movement. Since making a stop in 1934 in Germany and seeing what Hitler was doing to ruin that country, I knew at that time that fascism had to be fought. In Germany, in Italy, in Spain, where I was particularly involved, or here in the United States under the guise of the Ku Klux Klan and the White Citizens Council. In any case, I became very much involved in the anti-fascist movement, in particular in Spain. So that was well known. Also, it was well known that I was very much involved in the anti-colonialist movement, You see, Africa holds a very special place in my heart. And I knew that Africa was being ruled unjustly by colonialism. And since the 1930s, I was involved with various students and dock workers of African descent, and they told me of their struggles. Some of these students you may know: Nnamdi Azikiwe, Jomo Kenyatta from Kenya, and Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana. These young men were involved in the struggle against colonialism, and I became involved with them. These things were also known in 1946. And of course, in 1946, it was known that I am a socialist. For me, socialism represents a higher stage of human existence, from tribalism to feudalism, feudalism to capitalism, capitalism to socialism. Represents for me a higher stage of human existence which has nothing to do with plots or conspiracies. These were my personal beliefs, and they were all known in 1946. Now,